presence of the UN in Sarajevo is a mixture of blessings and blunders. The Egyptians, the Ukrainians and the French are only seen on the streets in their huge armoured vehicles. They thunder past people who are confused about why they're here. The UN has a public relations problem of large proportions.
I'm fighting hard to make the presence of the UN in Sarajevo more acceptable, because there is some lack of information among the public. They don't realize what the mandate means. They don't realize what we are doing here. They don't realize there is many of the armed personnel expose themselves to dangers.
And exposed to dangers they are. Their vehicles mortared, their convoys machine-gunned. The airport, which is supposed to be secure, has this week seen a 3.5-day battle with the UN sitting ducks in the middle. The Ukrainians and the Egyptians have lost most of their barracks to nighttime shells. The British Royal Engineer contingent took note and burrowed deep underground for its quarters. The whole operation is commanded from a headquarters building that has lost sizable chunks to shell fire.
The arrival of more troops won't solve any of these problems overnight, and they'll be escorting aid convoys through territory where all sides are heavily armed and prone to unprovoked attack.
And precisely who is shooting at the UN is a moot point. Serbs, Muslims and Croats blame each other. The UN mutters about irregulars. What is not at question is the amount of ammunition available for all this, official, smuggled or homemade. A steady flow of rockets, hand grenades and mines comes off this production line. This is a Sarajevo garage. Ismet, a motor mechanic, has changed from tinkering with engines to tinkering with TNT. He collects old shells, rescues the explosive and chops it up. Within a spark's distance, his assistant does a spot of welding on grenades. 25 rockets of Ismet's design go off to the front line every day. They may be rough and ready, but they kill. And the UN has to cope with all of this. Kate 80, BBC News, Sarajevo. For NBC News, this is Kate 80 in Sarajevo. A deadline passed at noon, but not one that anyone here would have noticed. This morning, while the UN met Serbs to determine whether heavy weapons were to be placed under UN surveillance at noon, the hillsides resounded. And it's unlikely there'd be any immediate effect on the gunfire. Surveillance merely means the UN counting the number of shells fired, not stopping them being fired. The scale of shelling in the last 48 hours can be gauged at the city cemetery. There were 40 funerals yesterday. By 11 this morning, 9 more coffins were borne there. The Muslim imam does not leave. He has so many ceremonies to conduct. These are all civilians killed by shrapnel while out fetching water, a bullet while walking across the road. Successfully through the battlefield, a truckload of British aid, steered from London by the aptly named Serious Road Trip. Young volunteers with 7 tons of food from Jewish World Relief, clothing from the Methodists, 5 tons of medicines from British firms. Perhaps a drop in the ocean. But this is the UN's warehouse today, empty, but for a few sacks of rice and flour. So the Serious Road Trip unloaded with vigour this afternoon, under incoming shell fire. Discussions and promises of restraint take a long time to have any effect here. Kate 80, BBC News, Sarajevo. The UN's process of getting both Serbs and Bosnians to concentrate their heavy weapons and allow them to be monitored has had no discernible effect on the fighting. The UN now has observers at more gun positions, but can't do anything to stop the guns firing. An air of despair emanated from the UN commander today.
This process is not enough and is not sufficient for our safety, and is not even enough to say we are making progress.
Lifting the siege and placing all weapons under UN control was the general's only solution, and neither of these is likely to happen soon. Many of the weapons have been hidden, and no one's giving an inch on either side of the siege.
Take one little group that has nothing to do with this war. 126 international students at Sarajevo University, who today brought their protest to the UN.
We want to go home! We want to go home!
They're from Syria, Bolivia, Australia and a dozen other countries, and they cannot get out of this city.
Our families don't know anything about us, and we also. We didn't know
That they
anything
are
about
alive
them.
or dead. They don't know anything
More than
about
4
us
months.
for many months.
6 students have been killed by shelling. Their families do not yet know this. But many people born in Sarajevo say they'd rather die than leave, and the siege has to be coped with. So Sunday lunch for the Lonchar family is prepared on a petrol burner on the balcony, behind a carpet to hide from snipers. It's a small pot of macaroni. Birgitta remembers roast lamb and puddings and calculates buying 2 eggs tomorrow, costing about £1. Next door, her youngest son, Darko, a keen collector like most 14-year-olds, has found something to replace his stamps. His trophies of war, collected literally on his own doorstep. Kate Adey, BBC News, Sarajevo. A beautiful morning, and Sarajevo citizens went out in droves to find water and bread, and just for a stroll. At 10:15, all hell broke loose around them. Every kind of weapon roared into use. Tanks, artillery, mortars, anti-aircraft guns, machine guns. Within a short time, the main street was full of evidence of war, and still there were people on the streets. Shells tore bits out of the hillsides, and there were eyewitness reports of airburst shells which rained down shrapnel. The French hospital took 2 direct hits onto the 8th floor, luckily into empty rooms with a ward full of patients 30 feet away. The main entrance was a clatter of stretchers and desperate people. The casualty toll rose every few minutes. The senior surgeon was going to talk to us, but casualty number 41 came in, a nurse who'd just left here after night duty, hit by shrapnel 2 streets away. Then the battle swung westward, a horrendous barrage over the suburbs of Ilidja, shells slinging over the United Nations building. In accordance with their mandate, UN monitors were counting shells at both sides' positions. But later the UN admitted that unmonitored guns were in use all over. And who fired first? Colonel Davout, the UN second-in-command, replied,
"Who came first, the hen or the egg? I don't know. You see,
he believes the Serbs are engaged in a determined maneuver to divert the Bosnian forces and take more positions to the west.
If it is the case that the Serbs are trying to consolidate their positions around the town by creating a diversion, then the cost to the citizens of Sarajevo has been very high, especially in the center of their city.
In just 8 hours, a casualty toll of over 20 dead and well over 100 injured and rising. Colonel Davout thinks that the war is now going into a true military phase. That may be so, but 350,000 people are on the battlefield. Kate Adey, BBC News, Sarajevo. Come winter, these mountain roads should be carrying scores of trucks every day, escorted by warrior armoured vehicles. Except for the weather, which can be very hard here, the area shouldn't be too much trouble, from the coast through Croatia into Bosnian land now controlled by Croats. It's the last 10 miles which present problems. Warring factions have checkpoints. They can be obstructive. The final 2 miles into Sarajevo are across a battlefield. The village of From its main street, Sarajevo is a straight run down the main road. A front line and at the moment a fighting ground. Most drivers accelerate. There's crossfire every day. Our vehicle attracted the usual unfriendly burst this morning. After half a mile, you stand on the brakes to negotiate the tank trap under which the mines lurk. Fresh debris from early morning shelling litters the road. The first taste of Sarajevo's ruined skyline appears. All convoys must use this way in, while the shells fly in all directions. Kate Avey, BBC News, Sarajevo. For NBC News, this is Kate Avey in Sarajevo.
In this proud land we grew up strong. We were wanted all along. I was taught to fight, taught to win. I never thought I could fail. No fight left, or so it seems. I am a man whose dreams have all deserted. I've changed my face, I've changed my name, but no one wants you when you lose.
Don't give up, 'cause you have friends. Don't give up, you're not beaten yet. Don't give up, I know you can make it good.
Though I saw it all around, never thought that I could be a faintant. Thought that we'd be last to go. It is so strange the way things turn. Drove the night toward my home, the place that I was born, on the lakeside. As daylight broke, I saw the earth, the trees had burned down to the ground.
Don't give up, you still have us. Don't give up, we don't need much of anything. Don't give up, 'cause somewhere there's a place where we belong. Rest your head, you worry too much. It's gonna be alright. When times get rough, you can't fall back on us. Don't give up, please don't give up.
Got to walk out of here. I can't take anymore. Gonna stand on that bridge, keep my eyes down below. Whatever may come and whatever may go, that river's flowing. That river's flowing. Moved on to another town. Tried hard to settle down. For every job, so many men, no one needs.
Don't give up, 'cause you have friends.
Straight over there.
Definitely tell you.
What? Keep going.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think this road
That's the big hole we went down yesterday.
Oh yes, that's before they let us just giving the contrast from here, but that's one of the Hercules.
Bueno. ¿Cómo que ya vamos, Adela? Acaba de caer uno que se acaba de cargar los cristales. Vamos de una vez, reina. Sí, mi amor, pero mira, es que ahora mismo acaba de romperse un cristal. Este es el sexto ya.
Like to get down, really, wasn't it?
No, normally the shrapnel takes about a second.
Does it?
If it's
So you have got time.
Yeah.
Certainly when the first one came in the car park, we all got down and the shrapnel joined us, and there were little bits, just a couple of bits came in the office. Still hot off the plate.
Time to get on tail before it goes rusty.
Juan, ¿lo has cogido? ¿Cómo estás?
What? I don't know. We can't tell. Sounds like single rounds of... No, I think it's over there. I don't know.
Yes, and that includes all coming. Will you put on your flag next to the order Vladimir and not casually wander around?
That's it.